Respond to one unconscious. At Meadow Ridge Senior Living.
My father just did not fall and get hurt and die.
Going to the main dining room, a party that fell out of a wheelchair. He kind of cupped into the wheelchair on the wall.
This life could have been saved.
What's his name? Larry. Larry, can you hear me? Larry.
He was not given any chance to live at all by this facility.
This is a story about an assisted living facility, a fallen resident, and the failures that led to a slow and preventable death. The Fox 9 investigators reviewed video of the ordeal, which spans about 13 minutes. But we have to warn you, it is difficult to watch. We begin at dinner time at Meadow Ridge Senior Living in Golden Valley. 79-year-old Larry Thompson had just finished his meal. Surveillance video shows Thompson maneuvering himself, trying to get from the table to his electric scooter. We'll start the clock here, where you can see Larry awkwardly sitting on the scooter seat. 25 seconds in, it's obvious. Larry is struggling, and according to a state investigation, there are no licensed nurses in the room at the time, only a dining staff worker who's cleaning tables across the room.
He was moving slower than usual.
Adrienne Sloan tells us her father was a proud Vietnam vet and a grandfather, but his mobility had recently gotten worse.
You can tell that he was having a hard time lifting that leg.
1 minute 17 seconds in, Larry is teetering back and forth on the scooter seat, just trying to stay upright. Making matters worse, Larry suffered from vertigo, obesity, and arthritis. And state records reveal the Golden Valley facility knew about all of this. In fact, they had recently documented his history of falls. But to be clear, the facility was well aware that he was a fall risk.
Oh yes, yes, completely aware.
It's been 3 minutes and 10 seconds since Larry first showed signs of a struggle, and there's still no one in sight to help. So he continues to slowly fall over until he's nearly upside down. His neck is pinned between the scooter and the wall, and across the room, another resident notices and motions in his direction.
He's still moving his legs. Nobody is in there at all.
3 minutes 52 seconds in, this staff worker, identified in police records as Angela Ramnarine, enters the dining room. She does not attempt to move Larry or the scooter, and Larry remains stuck.
All she does is looks at him, says something, doesn't call 911, nothing.
4 minutes 12 seconds in, a group of staff workers walk into view. They appear to want to help, but a state investigation reveals they were instructed not to touch a fallen resident.
To not even try and render any type of aid to move the scooter, anything. I mean, even just as much as arriving in there and check a pulse, nothing. He was completely dismissed.
5 minutes after Larry first began falling, and 2 minutes after he became pinned, you can clearly tell Larry's breathing is labored. And by the time Angela calls 911, Larry has already stopped moving. State records show he died from positional asphyxiation. He suffocated.
He knew he was dying and knew that nobody was coming to his aid. There was zero effort to save him.
What's his name? Larry. Larry, can you hear me?
When police and fire showed up,
Larry.
it was the first time anyone was allowed to help Larry.
You want to make sure fire can get in? I'm going to need some help here. Larry, can you hear me?
He did
Larry.
not die peacefully. He died knowing he was suffocating. He died knowing that nobody was coming to his aid and that he was by himself.
The Minnesota Department of Health fined Meadow Ridge $5,000 for neglect and found both the facility and Angela were responsible for the maltreatment. The state also called out the facility's fall policy, which directed staff to call 911 and gave an erroneous order to not touch a resident after a fall. When you learned that the facility had this policy that instructed its staff to not touch or move somebody who had fallen, how did you react to that?
A lot of four-letter words were coming out of my mouth. Never in a million years did I ever think that that would be a policy.
Is that policy a good policy?
No, it is not a good policy.
Cheryl Hannon is Minnesota's long-term care ombudsman. She advocates for some of our state's most vulnerable adults.
Facilities that have no touch, no lift policies in place create serious risks for individuals.
Management at Meadow Ridge refused to speak to us on camera, and its executive director sent us an email that said, quote, "We have no comment." But state records revealed the facility kept that no-touch policy in place for months after Larry's death.
I don't care about a policy. It's what you do as a human being to try to save somebody. That facility, the owners, and that woman, I hold them all accountable. 1,000%.
Larry's daughter tells us his death is under criminal investigation, but so far no charges have been filed in this case. As for the staff member at the center of this investigation, Meadow Ridge would not say whether she is still employed or not. For the Fox 9 investigators, I'm Nathan O'Neill.